mwana sirina tawanya njagala okuddayo ebukunja sirina mwana sirina tawanya njagala okuddayo ebukunja sirina mwana sirina tawanya njagala okuddayo ebukunja batema amavunike mu nnimiro batema amavunike mu nnimiro batema amavunike mu nnimiro batema amavunike mu nnimiro ewa mulirwana batema amavunike mu nnimiro batema amavunike mu nnimiro baleke.
Okay, abalabi baffe mwena tubeebaza nnyo okubeera nti muli kumu temuvuddeko. So this time around tulina omusajja munene. He is into music. Music gwakola si nti he is into voice. Naye ye bwe yakola music yasalawo nti agende akole mu byuma. And whoever has done a very big show in East Africa, you definitely know him. Asekiwankayizia nkomyewo nate tunyumyemu ku success stories mbaleetedde omusajja bamuyita Michael Ouma. I know all of you know him. Michael, mbadde nsaba obuze ku bantu baffe abatulaba ku TV.
Balamusiza mwena abatulaba ku TV era yenze Michael Ouma nsanyuse nnyo okubawana.
Yakava mu shows nene nnyingi nnyo buli show gyonna gy'owulira Michael mwali. Michael, njagala abantu banyumizeeko ku Michael Ouma yani. Watandikira wa? Tell us about your okupulako.
Well, Michael Ouma musician era ye part abantu gye basinga okumanya. Nsuna ndongo producing mu studio kubivuga bingi. Keyboards, guitar, trumpet, violin, a bit of sax, ndingidi, adungu nyingi nnyo. Naye nakola mu maka agali music. Katwanga okuba guitar. So we twagenda ku church nga very excited to see instruments. Era nalinga about 6-7 years nga ndya nnyo ku investigating ku instrument tukakungoma okuba tukakundanga bw'omanyi omwana wabeera nga nze instead of playing with a lot of other toys ezaliwo
obeera mu bya instruments
nga mbyagala nnyo mpaka then nenkula nengenda mu secondary school at Makerere College School and I was introduced to traditional music and traditional instruments and Western music theory. Nensoma music up to S6. Kakati awo nagenda nga nyongerako a lot of instrumentation n'okuyiga ebivuga ebyenjawulo. Kakati on the other side of it, I'm an accountant and statistician. So naina life eyo nayo era bye nasoma Makerere University. Kati okukula okwange kwalimu a lot of course different vocations. Nalimu ne sports. Njagala nnyo sports, njagala nnyo mathematics and education, formal education, but njagala nnyo music. Ekiseera nga nina okusala neŋŋamba naye eno talent mukama ya gym.
Sports wakola sports ki?
Basketball. Yes, I did a bit of athletics. Later on, I liked soccer, so I joined soccer as well. Yeah, but I was asking myself, what would I do best? And then nentunya more options ezaliwo ebintu nga obisomyeko n'okubukamu but nga waliwo kiri nga mukama yakikuwa like it's inherent weekiri kati nentunya music oyo nga buli kyenkola music asigala nkowoola olleeno music akowoola oleeri and something I do with ease and yet I'm doing it excellent.
Abane ba Makerere College mwenna abasinga mwagenda nnyo mu talent. Abantu bensinza okwogera nabo Makerere College. Mwagenda nnyo mu talent. Is it because mwali kumpi ne university oba because mwalina access to to this kind of world in the school?
I think there was access, but also the encouragement. When you get encouragement from teachers and the other students, waliwo standard vocations etumanyi as a standard academia, the traditional academia. Then nobawo co-curricular activities nga baze encouraging nnyo. Katugenda okulaba nga mu class sigadde gwe atalina kyokola kirala. You try it out.
Kye bayitanga extracurricular activity.
Yes. Ng'ogenda n'olaba at least muno ali mu sports, oli ali mu music, oli ali mu home economics, ono ali mu entrepreneurship. Naye kati gwe just oli ku math, science, gundi
academics zokka tozivuddeeko naye ng'ate abantu abatambuddeko mu talent kibakoledde.
Yeah, and also we had this Makosa is the old
association.
Kati nga bajja ne batuwabulamuko ne bakuwa experience nti gundi nze nali wano kino kye kyanyamba. Nze nafuuka doctor, nze nafuuka engineer, nze nafuuka artist. Nakola fine art nimukola kya. Nze nakola maybe sports nimukola kya. So you have options. N'ogamba, okay, I can go this way. I can also go this way. Ate nga the back encouraging nti obanga olina ekitone tokituulako. Olina kino kikozese ekya standard academia obeere ng'olina ky'osomye. You have a fallback plan as well.
So you have mentioned instruments nyingi, saxophone, and adingidi, adungu, all the things. Lwaki wasalawo nti you are going for the guitar? We're picking out your guitar.
Guitar, natwala ekiseera nga first of all guitar binasooka ddala by the way. Naweere ewaka muzaaya kikumi. N'ensonga mbiri ebirala nga biri new to me. But like I said, it was a tender age. Ng'omwana wa really between 6 and 10 years. Obeera just investigative, you're inquisitive, oyagala nnyo okukwata ku kino, okutte ku kiri nga bw'omanya emyaka egyo. But after a certain while, I realized it was the one that I was playing best. And also, I had an opportunity to okuleta the different elements ze nali njize ku bivuga ebirala. Nga waliwo okuba, ne ngamba, information gye mbadde nfunye kwako bw'oba adunga oba endingidi, watya nga ngezezzaako bwenti. Noya melody, muno gye yakuba ku trumpet oba ku sax n'ogamba kandigezeeko wano. So I had to find something that I could master and be great at. Or sometimes oyinza okubeera jack of all trades, na toli kafulumu anything, ne buli kimu okikwatakwatako, naye ngamba kansooke nconcentrate ku kino.
Are you trying to tell the viewer that guitar gy'okuba out of experience wasalawo nti oconnectingiremu ebyuma ebirala mu guitar?
Yes.
Ebirala okubiramu adungu mu guitar, you try to see that you get a sound of exactly that from the guitar.
Yeah, what I try to do is to get the uniqueness of it's a bit music, but I'm sure someone may understand it. The rhythms oba patterns zewandikubye ku kivuga ekirala. N'ogamba singa mbadde ndikubye ku guitar yandisoundinze bitya. N'ogezaako. Funa bulungi. Then n'ogamba waliwo melodies, kati melodies abantu tebandikambye nga tune oba engeri voice kale gye nayo yanditambudde. N'ogamba nti omuntu yandiyimbye yandiyitidde wano. Kati nze kankube ng'omusounding ng'omuntu ayimba. Kati byonna nengezaako investigating ngambe nti ku kivuga ki. Nyinza concentrating upon the ezo elements zonna zikole ki zibeere nga praisable. So that's the style of guitar that I play. It's not really like the usual style that it would have been. It's just funa scale weighting abo bagikuba bajjajjaffe gundi we yagikuba bwati kuba. I keep adding different elements of the different instruments that I have an exposure.
In the guitar?
Yeah.
Okay. This is very interesting.
Yeah.
Tell me, do you have any life gye wayitamu nga si nnungi, or you expected things to be the way they are now as you were growing? Njagala omuntu akulaba ku TV amanye obulamu bwali bulungi when you were growing up, or things have just changed, things are not as good as
obulamu tebwali bubi. Abazadde baffe bakulabirira bulungi, and I appreciate them for that. It's just maybe I could say the transitioning and making the decision ogamba nti waliwo byensomye naye waliwo byenjagala okukola. Sinza ku kitone kyennina. Now, making that decision, especially with parents, society, siblings, friends, it's very difficult for you to say we've got options. But you would rather trade into something that looks dark and blurry. Ninga gwina kyolaba. Naye abakulira nnyo bonna bagamba bono yava.
abazakaki.
Abazakaki biki.
Because in most cases we twakulira ng'olaba omwana agezaako talent n'omulaba nga I used to do swimming. I was a national swimmer naye ng'omanyi nti owuga but you do not know where you will end. You are not exposed ng'ensi endala bwe ziri nti omwana ajja kuzannya like I'll tell you Michael Thorpe wa swimming seed one was swimming. Ye yawuganga ku makya nga awuga n'olweggulo every day even if it's Christmas. Until when he started achieving Olympic medals azina nyingi nnyo ezensi zisupportinga kati nze kyengezaako okubuuza wano is did you really think this would happen for you to be this famous to be this big as you were growing up?
Not really. I think there's things that I saw personally.
Okay.
Nze nkiraba naye nga abanninanye nga tebakiraba.
Okay.
Now what I'm saying is the harder part was trying to explain myself and trying to put out my vision. Nti asa ategeere nti gye ngenda we wano. Kati abagamba kituufu naye en option naye badde weeri. Kinga mukugamba nti kweseri nekkubo naye nga gw'olabira ddala nasiko. But there's a paved road wano. Ne government ebaddikola last week. Baakateekako tamaka n'amatala kwega. Alina luki kati edigiri gyennyini. Ate omunogamba yo weeri. Naye ate mu nsiko muli endongo wegenda okumpisa nina gye ngenda. Bagamba namusabye either yavaako oba alina kyaba talaba. So for me that was a harder part. But I had envisioned needing nga nkimanya I have a fallback plan. Of course, bw'otuuka eri you can fall back on the main road when now I got it. The fallback plan then I know. But I
What is the fallback plan?
It's my academic.
Okay.
I'm an accountant.
Accountant, yes, I know.
However, nkimanyi nti yes weeri and all that information I knew at some point nga nkola my personal business.
Okuba endongo but you're a statistician from Makerere University.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I knew because even now I use some of that information for private work, my personal business.
Consultancy.
Yes, things
Okay.
like that. But nga nkimanyi nti at some point in endongo agenda ku overriding buli kimu nga ye nkoowola ssaawa yonna nabena baya ku university abantu baya mu research term ndi ku tour in Europe.
Okay.
Okomyewo mu research term endala nze ndi mu African tour somewhere. Like music has always been my thing. Okuddala nga ndi mu S3 funayo spare time waliwo n'abaana benjigirizaawo n'obakubiramu kwa kogo n'okubiramuko kwa ddungu n'okola ki because it's always been me. Yeah.
What was your first tour? That turning point. What was that first tour you were so called eyakukyusa to what you are now?
I don't know if I should say tour yennyini eyankyusa naye when I saw okukola we had an event with Oscar Kihika.
Okay.
Yes.
Oscar Kihika mujjukira yali lawyer wa N17?
The lawyer.
He's a lawyer.
A big lawyer.
Yes.
So he's actually now actually
a judge.
Yes,
he's a judge, yes.
We refer to him as Milo.
Okay, yes.
Yes, he had a concert.
Yes.
He was doing a concert alongside Dr. Victor.
He had a studio. You're in a studio, right?
Yes, in a studio
Okay.
with Colonel rehearsals, you can see. Hatinze, it was my introduction into pop music. Because yampitanga ndi extremely raw. Omanyi omuntu nga raw tali muwagala yadde. But he had faith in me and the craft that I was going to do and the friends when I didn't have.
Okay.
Just Mugume, Matweet. We together to call a rehearsal for a long time. But for me it was a shaping. It was my first time to pull up the show. That was when I time to call up connections with other people in jam sessions, national
Jam session yali
national theatre.
Yeah.
Then in Dalazalinga Sabrina Zal, Twakalana Taska, my jam session yalinga or Sabrina's.
Yeah. Teyali si yatandika nga karaoke ezo but Juliano lo batandika.
Akata ate ebiseera byali before.
Okay.
Byali before kati ffe twajoininga. There were jam sessions ezaaliwo but they were more about like band kind of music. It was less of a karaoke time. Now it was more about instrumentals, jazz and stuff like that. One of it was more like a learning opportunity. Twasangangayo already abakubi abamanyi bye balimu. N'akubamu opportunity ntitwalamuko kusoola. So for me, those were times that were like getting into the deep end all of a sudden. There's a friend of mine called Chinove Hablat. So we had a tour, an African tour. About 20 21 concerts in about 18 countries.
African tour. Which
Yes.
year is that?
From Africa, that is 2008, 2007.
Nemukola 18 countries. Nga ine sponsoring.
Alliance Française.
Okay.
Alliance Française.
Okay.
Kati nga tuli awo twalina producer Alan, Baka, producer June.
Nga mugenda muyimba which kind of music?
So what happened was, before we got the tour, we had done a bit of creations, Chinowe and myself.
In studio?
Jamming, just to jamming,
okay.
To jamming, because nali in secondary school.
Okay.
So the class of then throughout my university time, nga still in more spaces to jamming and maize okusoma wali tufuna obudde ne tujamminga muko nga kuba kora palati nga bwe gita lusinzira ku ndingidi just tuli byaffe kati we would have those little clips ngona oluweereza munne oliraweereza munne and then we fell
ne amalgamate nga clips ez'enjawulo
yes
ne mujjamu ekintu
yes kati it fell in the arms, I would say, our Alliance Française, because we had connections with them. Can you create something bigger around here to be a band? Can you do maybe a tour or do some experience or somewhere? Creating a music in that direction of world music. Because world music would have a lot of elements from traditional, from pop, from different genres. No, we get our more.
Okay.
Kakati we try creating a team. But it's very good to
team bali bagiyita jam.
So bit Africa.
Okay.
Kakati we try touring Africa. That was my first time to get that kind of exposure outside the country. Not take it music business way for. I don't know information ya university. Kati nayo ndimu crossroads nsalawo
oli between music ne course gy'osoma.
Yes.
Tomanyi wa ogenda watuufu naye nga
nino salawo saawa yo ngambe kakati eno tuwa gye nnumbye ne byensoma gugwa gutya
wajjukira eri basoma eno oli mu tuwa okitegeera olina okukomawo notes tozifunye wetaaga notes ezo eno eri ku tuwa
so that was the time that I had to make a decision. Although for me, the decision I can say had subconsciously been made by myself before.
Okay.
But time kukakasa boli nabo njomanyi jengenda. So that was the hardship jenafuna kwa waka. Na mzee na jalaba.
Were your parents quite encouraging?
At the time,
chino chitwalo. Nga nawo bakulabulabi omovinga by the wind.
Moving ogenda neka omuntu abayagala kuwagira. First of all, it's a big blurry. Why? In the industry itself, I didn't write when I get it for that. Because it was not something that's usual. You're not doing the usual pop. You're not maybe a reggae band. You're not what's music Womokola. They are unique. It's led by traditional instruments, best ones who are jazz and what abazungu betutambuliramu eri
balaba ki African culture kiri mu bidongo byabwe and it is very fertile.
Naye wano okuba gig ne bokubira wale
kati babitegeera bulungi.
It's like some light years ahead. Kati olaba mu industry mwenyene nga bali confused olwo atalina mu industry.
I know. Michael Ouma, fast forward. Nakolabako ndowooza mu electro.
No. I just used to do a lot of danger. With different teams, ngolo singena ne nkuba muko ngabampisa.
Ngabo tambula ne different artists.
Yes. But now fill in perhaps, or if they had maybe 3 events, they needed to something like that.
Okay. So in their troupe, wali okuba jita wali okuba dongo?
No.
Different.
Ngabo nkuba nina facets are traditional, as a Western. Kati actually two of them maybe can be yoko.
Okay.
At Kanzile Yoko.
Okay, jayo.
Kanzile Yoko kato. Kati 2003 ate. 2003. Yes, when I was secondary school. Trying a tour to France and Spain. That's the first time I ever traveled.
To France and Spain.
But I didn't go back to Madinda. That was a lot of there was a lot of traditional music elements that I didn't qualify in. My fixation with that, the end it about the traditional side. When I'm meeting Mamila and Jesse, Mr. Kaiza abakadinda kachuchu, Mr. Sam Okello.
We'll get back shortly. Temuvao banango. Okay, bana, we are back with Michael Ouma. Atamanyi Michael Ouma nga toyagala music. Naye buli akuba alina bandi wano mu Uganda, buli akola shenene. Michael just had a show with Greg David.
We had a concert with Greg David. Yes, at the show.
So walina Greg David. Ne Cindy wamukoze?
No. It was on the same day.
Eh.
We couldn't do that because it was going to be a lot of work.
Yeah.
Yes, so there was a different team with different.
Namwe move forward. This thing here for you.
Of course, but sometimes more mentally
Eh.
than even physically.
Oh, what do you mean exactly?
You're first of all jukira ennyimba nyingi ate bw'ogenda ku stage obeera nga reimagining ennyimba waliwo breaks olina oteekamu endala to interact with the audience waliwo vibe ey'enjawulo kati olina obijjukira teebereza okubye concert oba meka mu bulamu byonna birina kuba wano kakati oyinza n'okukoowa mentally because olina okulowooza ku kintu ate teri room ya kola nsobi olina okuba nga oli
naye bw'okolera ensobi nga muli machines nyingi nnyo eziri ku stage biki you are covered with other instruments.
Yes and no. You could be covered, but you see, it's a digital era. Everything is recorded in real time. With the good sound, every single instrument stage in amplification. Until you distort the
whole system.
Yes.
For
example, now we use in-ear monitors. Kati buli kivuga mu ekirimu
buli muntu abakyulira wano
kati omugjeeko kuba aba asuubira nti wekikubira olina signal gy'omu olina woogenda kati abadde alina dance routine onokuwuliza instructions awuliriza engoma wezigenda
terunga nga awulira kintu kirala. How do you compare that to the trip that we're talking about? Wayina trip gye wakola, I think it was the second trip gye twadde twogerako.
Yes.
France and Italy. How do you compare the system now ne system eri gye mwakusanga?
Kankuzeeyo ddala kati bw'oddayo ku France and Spain eyo yali 2021 ne tugenda mu traditional music, it was folklore festivals, different folklore festivals. We spent about 2 months. Half of it was in France, half of it was in Spain. That were in traditional music. At the time, we were not even informed of how to amplify our instruments. So we took up staging and alabo ine ntongoli endingidde amadinda habira up stage byonna you're playing in front of about maybe 2,000 or 1,000 people. Kati bonna balina kuwulira byoko kati nagamba soko nkubireko wamenya microphone wanagiteeka. There's no plugins, there was no nothing at the time because it was new to them. Kakati time area.
I can imagine.
But we had to move.
Ngeri gyokwata adongo n'ogiplugingamu amplifier ne baweka.
Time eyo ng'olina okwambala ne microphone waneeno neerebera mu mukono
n'ogikwatira wano ku gita bwoti.
Nawulira n'agamba eyo kati nyongera eno dakeyo. It was like building the train on the rails. But of course, at the time, I also got exposed to different people when I met in the industry, like Mwami Kaizi, Arthur Collins. He was one that took us to the Kadinda cultural troupe, Narim Kuba, the different traditional instruments. Then later on, I met Mwami Kayofu of Crane Performers. I met Mwami Ranges of Ndere Troupe. I met Mr. Kello, Mizizi, and On of Roots. So these are people that I met in the traditional angle. Katine meeting another pop later on, and then jazz. Different facets of my music.
How do these people exactly market you to okutandika okuyingira mu bantu nga Juliana, shows ezo ba Irene, ba Message bonna, because the shows zembadde nzijanga ndaba z'olimu kulaba nnyo nga oli kusira muna kugera ku show z'okoze ezizonga ezo ba Isaiah Katumwa. How do you exactly abantu bali bakurelating batyo kujja mu, is it you market it yourself oba music ya ku marketing to take us to between I
would say marketing myself and being marketed by others is mostly about the trade itself.
Okay.
Because it speaks to you. And if you give time to your craft, you'll be able to, I can't say perfect necessarily.
I want you to say that again. Alaba TV achitegere. One way ina talent achitegere bulungi. When you have something very good for yourself, fatale. Chija kutunda.
It goes before you, because there's times where we speak a lot about our trade and our craft. And you spend more time speaking than doing a good job. You can't call a good job. A good job
yekwogerera
yekutwala gy'olina okubeera, because Bible yakugamba nti your talent will bring you before kings and princes. Si wolokoso si nti ate bw'oyogera ennyo. Now the most important thing is giving time to your craft and your trade, because noba ng'oli mulungi nnyo mu instrument oba singing or dancing, if you don't practice, n'omuntu yandibadde mediocre ajja n'afuyitako. Like people that like soccer, there's always that debate about Messi, Ronaldo, Nayagala. There's
to practice.
Yes, there's so many things to learn about soccer players like Ronaldo. Inti waliwo bangi abamusinga talent.
Naye ye kyateekamu wali.
What rate ye? Yamanya nti bangi ba greats abansinze naye njagala erinnya lyange nayo
lisigalewo ku papulo.
Mpoze ntya? Bano abalina flair, abalina natural talent, Ronaldinho we bali baane, naye mpoze ntya okubabeeramu n'ayongerako. Kakati talent we yakoma, we yayongera okukola ki? Okukola training. Yeah. Kati kye kyamuteeka mu ba greats n'okuba nti he is one of the greatest goal scorers of all time statistically speaking. Inti sawa yonna yafiira, it's like his last match. Kakati, if you have that mentality and then you add on great skill and talent,
so ekintu kyo is talent mweri, and then the training is in.
We're not taking time, we're not taking concentration, but as well,
Can I ask a personal question?
Yeah.
Like, olina kubulukira ku machane rujja n'okwata gita no training, like you're not going on stage, kati nyingide studio, n'okikuba maybe from 7 a.m. to 11, n'omulamu n'odda ne mu afternoon, n'okikola paka logolo. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, although I don't really rehearse time, I rehearse work.
Okay.
I have a target. In my hand today,
yes.
To
perfection.
So if I'm going to do it in half an hour, if I'm going to do it in 6 hours, if I'm going to do it, target here. There's times when I was only rehearsing time. Into the achievement is less. When you've got a target, because perhaps you have 2 hours in the day. Next day you may have only half an hour. The other day may be a free day and in 6 hours. But not one and in targets. And I have to better myself because my competition is me of yesterday.
Abayimbi abasinga betumanye Uganda bamunsi bali stage shy.
Yeah.
So because bali stage shy, they end up using different drugs. Drugs so that they cover their faces. Do you use any drugs? Do you I find you as a very shy. But amazingly,
I don't find it necessary to hide behind enhancements to be yourself. Not just from the element of drugs or as a musician, naturally as a human being. Because if the people in society that you work with and for at times, if they don't accept you for who you are, you're going to live a lie all your life.
I know.
And then you're going to believe the lie of a more element you. Kati, or not believing in that lie. That you must walk in that lie for the last. Kati zibucho sango muntu nti babango lunaku lweyanyo ennyo oba maybe lweyakozesa ennyo whichever drug or whatever.
Lweyakola ennyo.
Now,
lweyakola katono.
Yebeera the new them. Kati lwatabikozeseza aba awulira nga tawera. Even if yandikoze bulungi, yawulira nti mbulamu kali kavipa wa. Ontegeera bulungi. Now the rest of your career, that's what you're going to rely on. Now regardless of the trade you're in, bw'obanga olina akantu keweesigamako, first of all, you're relying on something that's really not you. So for me, I look at it wholesomely as in the bigger picture of life, not just music or into drugs itself. I would really love to be myself for the last. And I would advise anybody out there, one way not trade jolimo. Be true to yourself, be authentic. Abageno kwagala for that, beba tufu. Katonyekire mu ekyo, or making sure nti abo trading nabo and keep expanding.
Enhancement you know. And it's not about music alone, but any other kind of trade.
Yeah,
never better sport, never better any talent.
It's true, yeah. Because if you flaunt your shyness and then you hide behind something, you're actually not how do I explain it? You're not treating the disease, you're treating the symptoms. Togenze wali eri okutegeera nti nalwala ki just owuddemu ka headache
no painkiller.
I know. You're not treating your shyness. How do you overcome your fears? because you're doing SWOT analysis, not about strengths and weaknesses. But weakness yo, you're sweeping it and brushing it under the carpet. How do I overcome stage fright? How do I overcome butterflies? How do I overcome blah blah blah? Be you kakati bagenda kusooka bakujeregemu komanya abantu baganye byononese bakukwatemu aliri, but that's going to make you better. It's going to make you stronger. Later on bw'ovaayo element entuufu ate omulala n'akugamba kijja kubanga ye good.
I hope the person who is watching bagenda ozamutwala advice muwuliriza omukulu munene kyagamba. Michael, do you have any achievements zofunye mu talent for the viewer? I'm sure. Do you have any achievements that you have gotten in life, or so that you encourage the person who is mwana oyo ali akuba gita oba ayimba oba ayina talent, because kati Africa egenze etandisa okyuka talent egenze etandisa okujja mu ssente. Abaana bali bazanya omupiira luli President Museveni abagamba buli wini gye mufuna mbawa 1.2 billion. Twagenda okubalamu nga buli mwana afuna million nga 35. So if there are 3 matches, that's 105 million. That is talent. Kati what can you give a person akera ku makya n'agamba nti nze nja kukozesa mupiira to achieve?
I'm not one to really speak about
what you've achieved.
Yes, on my personal business and etc. But I can say for sure it's lucrative if you do business the right way. Yes, because it's been my capital for lots of the different businesses.
Bw'obikola mu butuufu.
Yes, bw'obikola mu butuufu ate bw'obikola ng'olina ekigendererwa n'onnyikira mu kintu ekyo n'okikolera ddala. Yes, like I always say, one of the best principles money empirically is whatever you put your hand to, do it to the best of your ability.
Tokigendamu ate okiveemu.
Ojatuukayo tomeremu koddayo yiga. Learn from your mistakes, go back, learn from your mistakes, because that's how business works. It's not just
Omuganda agamba nti ekigwa ekimu tekirobera mwana kukula.
At the end of the day n'okuddayo. Agamba paka wabatubeera bakuyimbira tengere omwana ayimiridde n'abeera at some point agenda ayimirira tandika okudduka So for me, I can say everything you put your hands to, do it to the best of your ability. There's achievements. I'll tell you, we're in a certain era now where everything can be monetized. There's a time and day and age back in the day where somebody doing comedy seated before a camera
can get money from that.
Could be a millionaire.
I know.
At SARS, umwana agenda neetega ku makya n'ategeera ki ekigenda mu maaso and then find a comical way to do it and get it on their TikTok account, get people to follow them, have a live, invite different people. And it's a craft.
I know.
But he's using his talent not just to being comical, he's probably a good communicator. Kakati, bw'oyogera ku achievements, waliwo personal achievements eziriwo, yes. But for me, I see the bigger picture. Internet citizen, for example. Within those different networks, how do they enhance my different businesses? In different facets of life. In academia, in real estate, in farming. Kati ogenze n'okwata asse yakubidde essimu kuba ayagala okulota embaga ye. Naye okimanyi okuteesa nyinza okusanga there's a certain business of mine etugatta nga maybe mu real estate project gye ndimu yabadde ampa ekiddako. Onfuna bulungi. How do I use my seat at that table to better myself?
Yes.
It started from music, but it's moving to something else.
Yes.
Kakati the focus is that ky'osoose okufunamu mu bulamu that's capital.
Ky'oba okozesa okuzimba okutambuza ekirala.
Otambuza ekirala. Yes, but to get back to your question about lucrativity, it's lucrative, and if you understand the music business, you know how to monetize your talent. Yes, I think 10 achievements and maybe 10 years old that I really like is the fact that there's been encouragement for different people in the industry. I've met so many people that some I don't even know. Man, for me, that is one of the biggest wins for material things, because there's longevity in that, and there's encouragement. For me, that's very, very great.
Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? What's your strategic plan?
I'm not one to quantify my programs by years in society or months or whatever.
Okay.
I have different plans because now I'm transitioning more into the academia than perhaps a lot of on-stage performances.
Okay.
By that I mean I'm now transitioning more into teaching and imparting knowledge.
Yeah.
With different generations.
Gakikwatagana ku talent, music, yeah.
Yes.
Kubato olekewo generation endala nga
because it's information that we've harnessed over time.
So like you have an academy.
I'm creating an academy.
Okay.
And then I'm doing a lot of events, more directing than actually on stage performances.
Okay. You have a team already that you're setting up. Right?
Yeah, it's underway.
You have some people who are following you after that.
I can't let the cat out of the bag right now, but no, it's underway.
Okay.
And we're going to do it, and it's going to be big and great.
Let's talk about AI. AI to move your business. Artificial intelligence kati tulimu buli omu. Kaba chogede ku wali in bit netugamba omwana creating a content nacheka ku TikTok.
Yeah.
How about yourself?
There's an infusion of AI in everything.
I'll give an example.
Yeah.
For my question. Great David ajja kyogamba nti oba bajja bakyogamba nti tulina omuntu wano gojja okukola naye okola bass guitar. As in like, how do you get those connections using AI?
Using AI in particular, I wouldn't really incline it to AI per se.
Okay.
I would say the whole digital era.
Okay.
Using the digital platforms that we have right now makes the world a global village. The connectivity, first of all. Intinizo collabo no montade Japan. But of course, if I'm to go into the AI enhancements, they've helped us also with a lot of semi-live productions. Olo otuuka nga gwali Bossa oli Somalia. Nafuna bulungi. We're not call a show, but you have to have a lot of elements of what the song had. But instead of doing recreations that are not substantial, you can easily create things.
And then you share with the rest of the world.
Yes, you can do that. Well, like the digital era has changed the whole ball game totally. So there's connectivity, there's productivity, even in studio now creations, in stage performances, but the thing is, what is very important is not to rely on a lot of technology and forget about the authenticity. Because you took it Sarah and you get incapacitated. There's people that cannot do certain things because they are used to only the availability of technology. You can't perform.
Yeah.
Laptop or stage or planning because you're not being trained and grounded in the principles actuality. Ground. No ground, no balance in between. Yeah. Yeah.
Day is you can creating an party kange.
Yeah.
Now we're not creating a kakunga.
Yeah.
No in Japan and then you mukakwata in studio and you move the world.
Yes, most collabos right now internationally, there's many people that I've never even met.
Oh please.
Managers speak with managers, team with team. No man who's gonna do the video.
Like I saw a song of Coffee Olomide.
Yeah.
And Diamond.
Yeah.
And it is a hit. Naenga Olaba anti, I think really expensive new video with expensive.
Yes.
Now we're gonna I need to creating an enga probably to meeting but they already have production running.
You could probably meet for the final take of the video. There's some who don't even ever meet. Remember meeting perhaps on tour. Naenga waina parts. So maybe if you're the writer of there's another writer na where's a concept, no manya the treatment for the video, no manya blah blah blah. But this is the beauty of the digital platform. Then syndicate data files, no data files, no placing, all in mixing, and like there's details of creation now into them.
Okay.
Mugeno kwegwako the product yagwadda, but it's based on the fact that technology has advanced. So how you use it is important because still tugenda okumala twegweko ku stage. Kati awo bile byaliwo bya technology ebichibiba
bifudde kati nga muli ku live
bandi eri omanyi okuyimba omanyi okutula mu break gye twakugamba bwe bayita 1 2 3 4 gwajja kati obanga obadde olwelayinga ku kiri bakugamba kino bw'owuliza kino biki biwedde omaze okurehearsinga. So you have to be grounded in the fundamentals, but also know how to use technology to enhance your business.
Obudde eva tebumala. Obudde eva tebumala. Ogero lyawo ogenda okulaba nga producer gamba mwana obudde buweddeyo n'ogamba bannaye tukoze tutya. Michael, are you dating?
wayagala nkuddemu ki ekyo
amazima tugamba nze
ngamba
waliwo obukiiki obuli awo bulaba obwakabi
nembuuza information egenda bayamba ti
abagala kumanya oba olina omukazi wali batolina
mbuuza information bagikozesa eki
amanyi serebu omunange olina omumanyi
anti ngamba tugeze bakitegedde bagenda kukolawo
bamanyi nti Michael ayina famire
ngamba bafunemu ki otegedde ebizibu byemubeera nabyo anti mugenda kati kankubuulire kati leero kambayigirize muffe nnyo ku midaala gyammwe mugenda ne muwaba nga information tebayamba mu butuufu kakati waliwo abantu mulina okutegeera nti waliwo private life y'omuntu ne public life kati information for example njikuwadde egenda kuyambirawo
give that viewer your last advice, especially omwana ali mu talent, any kind of talent.
Yeah.
Muwe that last word that you need to give them because obudde butuwedde ko.
Yeah. Nebo nkose kubi obudde.
Tujja kufuna yo session in next time.
Tujja kola retake.
Tujja kola retake. Oba part B. But I want you to advise the viewer who is watching. Yeah. That last word.
Nze ngenda kuddamu kiri kye nayogeddeko before. Into banga olina ekintu kyofunye oba kyosazeewo okukola kikolere ddala n'amaanyi go gonna kwatira ddala awo onyweze nfuna bulungi there's going to be a lot of falling getting back up but those are learning nfuna bulungi ddayo nyiikira nywereza ddala wali eri luliba olwo kijja kugwa
guys muwulidde ekintu kikole nga tokivaako oba ogwa oba okola ki tokivaako kuba bakivaako quitters never win. True. But winners never quit.
There's an issue that we usually have in different disciplines. Maybe in the music industry, maybe someone may understand it that way. Mogera n'ofuna engeri gy'obaatisizamu ne guggwa. Osigala obaatisa bw'otyo n'otagenda to find out and learn about the fundamentals of how that particular thing works. For example, like in business. Nofuna kwolwo n'okuba jackpot ne guggwa. It's going to be very difficult to stay in that business if you don't understand fundamentals. Genda research, genda studying ku business. For example, in the music industry, there's music creation and music business. Music business involves the trading part. Creation wali erifa abafumbi. Kati omala okifumba, olina ki marketing, olina ki packaging, olina kola brand awareness,
music business eri gy'ogyo.
Kati together ye packaging. Kati kubanga toli informed about it, ojja kubeera n'ennyimba zo 10 nga nnungi naye nga zizoyika. Then obaawo oli nga businessman mulungi nnyo naye ate tamanyi kusaka waneene music mulungi. Kati bano ababiri bebeesa
bakwatagana business n'etambula.
That's for music, but it works in different trades as well. It works in sports, it works in different traditional gundi abantu ze balimu. Nti just obadde oniizeyo kakeesi kamu nga lawyer n'olowooza kati ensi yonna ewedde oyongera ate n'oba waakabi genda researching genda okola ki because learning never ends. So it brings us back to kiri nti oba okikoze nyiikira ddala obeera owakabi mu kyo.
Talent gigata ne business bitambire wamu. Guys, obudde tebumalangako. That was Michael Ouma session 1. I am very sure tujja funa obudde obulala tujja tumukyaze twogere naye. Guys, never temuva ku Zubair TV. Please watch it, subscribe, like and share. I hope you have enjoyed Michael Ouma. Michael Ouma tujja muzza. Tunyumiddwa. We have had fun at the set. Bana mubere bulungi mukama abakuume. God bless you all 256.
Hey you my people, what's up? It's your girl Zari. We're about to slow dance a little bit.